right, guys, we're live here. We're not going to do this catchphrase or anything just yet. We're going to do WTF in a few moments. We're fixing to do WTF.
Finna.
But Lance, every odd month, because I'm odd,
yeah.
I like to give away something. So we have a big, huge.
We're coming out of September. That was an odd month.
Yeah.
Ninth month. So that's where.
All right. So we are going to. We're going to share the screen here. I promise you, we are.
At some point.
And you're at some point during the show.
What
here in a second. Guys. Can you see the wheel?
There we go. Yes.
All right. I'm gonna fix it. Can you see it really good?
Right above Rocktober and below Spunk Lube. Yes.
All right, good deal. Here is all the names. And let me tell you, to get on this board, you had to do one or two things. Number one, you are a Patreon member, or you could have donated with Cash App. $5 would have got your name on here. Now, also, during a week during rolling into Memphis, I said, if you subscribe today, I'll give you 2 spots for the wheel. So DRO has 2 spots and Sandy has 2 spots. Also, as you can see, TR's back. That's Tom Reese. He won 3 months ago, so he gets the return.
Nice.
And who's missing? Eric's not on here, and Mike. And who won last time? Braino Lasto won last time. So those 2 guys are still. Yeah, they're still
probation. Out. They're on contest probation.
Yeah, and tell them how we do it, Lance. How do we spin?
We spin the wheel, and as the names get picked, then they get dropped out until we get down to the last 2 names, and then the last one is the winner of the prize package. So I'm pulling for Michael because, I'm a huge Michael fan.
That's right. Here we go. What the hell just happened?
Uh-oh. There we go. We get the cool sound effects and everything. I like that. So, I can't see the name, though, because the Spunk Loop logo is in the way.
Ed's gone.
Sorry, Ed. You're going to win fantasy baseball for cool kids, but you're not going to win today. Chris Courtesy going to lose fantasy baseball, thankfully. He might win here.
Ed's still on the wheel.
Oh, Chris Courtesy. A double loser today, Chris Courtesy.
No, we're going to have to stop both. We're going to have to start over because I didn't hide Ed. So let's start over. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go, Lance. You ready?
Yep, go ahead. Let's spin that wheel. I can't see the name, though, because of the Spunk Lube logos in the way.
Let me see.
Can you slide that over to the left?
Nah, just go with it. I'll say the name. The name will pop up on
it pops
screen.
Up in the middle, yeah. So
yeah.
I'm pulling for Michael. I want Michael to win. Talented guy.
Oh. Well, one of them's gone. One of them's gone. You still got a chance, though.
So is it DRO or DOR? I can't remember. Should have put both of them up there.
Oh, Sandy's gone.
Ed is going to win fantasy baseball and cool kids today, and he's going to take out Chris Courtesy. Hopefully, Chris Courtesy is a double loser. We shall see. Hate when he wins.
Oh, Michael's gone. Sorry.
No, that's it. Now I don't care.
You leave Michael alone. He's our top Patreon. We do appreciate it, Michael.
I was hoping for him.
That's why you're our favorite.
Yep, talented too. Very talented. Oh, Chicago. Chicago takes a hit. I like that music.
That's right. It's beautiful.
Nice soundtrack. I'm trying to figure out what the clicking of the wheel sounds like. It's kind of like
like a clicking of the wheel.
Tom Reese. The original
he's already been a winner, so there you go.
He's okay. He'll be all right. The original TR1. Yes. All right. 2-time loser, Chris Courtesy.
All right, here we go.
John is still in the running. Chicago's still.
Well, he was until you said his name. So there you go.
Jinxed him. I jinxed him.
You did. We got 4 left here.
All right. DRO still alive on that other choice.
Oh, there goes Chris Worley.
DRO still alive.
Stacy.
Going to be potentially a woman winner here.
Oh.
Here we go.
So here's the deal. I'm going to throw out to the Patreon. Next time we do this, if you up your tier, then you get 2 chances. Because guess what? The 2 people left had the 2 chances.
Multiple chances. Yep. All right, here we go. For all the marbles, here it is. We'll need some lube or something. Funk lube. DRO. DRO is your winner with the multiple choices.
That's right. There you go. Congratulations. We do want to congratulate you. That's pretty awesome. We do thank you. You know what? I don't know why, but I always have so much fun doing that. So
the wheel needs some WD-40, I think. I don't know what happened on that last spin. It seemed like it's stuck in the middle there.
It sounds like
stuck. Yeah.
Same. We've used the wheel for 3 months. Well, we didn't have sound the first month. There we go.
I like the song too, though. It's very catchy. Very nice. We'll play.
Yeah.
We might do that on the record store coming up. We'll do a covering the.
All right, guys. Here's what we're going to do. Give us a few minutes, and then we are going to go live with WTF.
All by yourself.
All right, here we go. Let me remove this and give us a few minutes, and we'll start with the theme song, and me and you will come on.
Here's Brian and Lance.
Hey, we're live from 304 Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Dang.
STSPOD.club production. This is WTF News Desk for the month of September. It was an odd month. And if you joined us a little early, you got to see the wheel. Congratulations to DRO. No, DRO. You got me so confused.
DOA, dead on arrival.
DOA. Congratulations, David.
Yeah, I am in the Pringles Chicken and Waffle Studios in Chicago for an odd month, September 2021. So it's an odd month, I think. That's the 9th month. So
let me look. I'm on. And look, we'll talk about a bunch of stuff before we get started. Number one, thank you to everyone. We're still on 300% more listens than we had last year. So we're still on point there. September, though, it's kind of scary what I'm fixing to say. Skimtimber was 465% more listens than it was last year.
Wow.
Just crazy.
Skimahorns are gold.
Let me tell you.
Shout out to Eric Kroll.
The last 3, the top 3 episodes, except for Rolling into Memphis, they get the top listens. We do have TV support there, so it doesn't bother us to have me and JB, and it's the 2 most handsome people on the cast here. So, that's why I think that's why we get so much. Episode 488, What the Fuck News Desk from last month is the number 3. Number 2 was I told you this also off the air. It seems like people love hearing us talk about AEW, but it was the AEW hate list. And then the most downloaded was the Cool Kids Countdown with the Skimahorns. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. And David, you get us 2 Skimahorn wrestling buddies.
And a promo. They're going to cut
those
a promo
tag
on
team titles over there. And they're going to do a promo on you, too. So that will be something to see there. T-shirt sales, I just want you to know we mentioned a Rolling Into Memphis on Saturday that we have a Rolling Into Memphis T-shirt in 2 shades of pink. The money goes to breast cancer awareness. We haven't decided the actual charity yet. I'm hoping it's somewhere local in Memphis or Jonesboro. Even a family, if we could help just one family would be. So if you're listening, you know somebody in this area, we'll go for it. We'll reach out and give them the money. But we want to talk about, I'm going to donate not just sales of that T-shirt, which I was going to do, but we're going to do, you mentioned something to me, and I think it's right. I think we just do all the sales of the T-shirt. Every bit of the money, the profit of it goes to the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And you got some stuff to show. If you're watching a video, guys, you got to watch the video. So show the record store. Oh,
I kept teasing you that I wanted record store merch and T-shirts and stuff, but now we got coffee mugs. I'm trying to figure out the camera here. Coffee mugs, and I have a hoodie, and there's T-shirts too with the official record store logo. So there you go. So yeah. So I'll be drinking coffee. My moment of silence. My coffee maker went down in a pile of rubble today. So 10-bell salute.
Yeah.
So I have to go buy a new coffee maker tonight at the dollar store, but I will be drinking coffee out of these record store mugs because they are really snazzy. So you got to order those and support the show, and the money goes to charity. I like the pink ring around the screen too, which it's a very subtle touch that you did today.
It is. I did. My middle child did that for me because I'm talented with that program, but not that talented. For some reason, I couldn't make a pink border, so she took care of it for me.
Well done.
And in the middle of the screen, I can't ever get this right.
There we go.
Rocktober.
Right
That's right.
there.
So here's what we're doing. We have one other wrestling show this month. Me and you do. When it comes to the G1, I think we'll do the G1 show at the end of the month. We do Rolling to Memphis on Saturdays, but in between those bookends, we're having no wrestling shows this month. It is Rocktober. We did it last year with Ricky Morton, all about Ricky Morton and the Rock and Roll Express. But this year, we're doing Rocktober about music. So the record store will be, that's going to be our total #1 show every week.
So Rocktober will be, should I tell them the theme?
Sure. Go ahead.
So I mean, it's basically the record store is going to be the prime show each week. So you're going to get a record store episode each week this time instead of doing it every 2 weeks like it normally is. And the theme concept, I wanted to do something a little bit different since Brian was cool enough to give the platform to me for the entire month. So I have decided to go, I'm the anti-John McAdam, and I am doing albums that are only from 2021. So when I pull albums for that show, it's always whatever I pull out. So it's from the 90s, 2000s, whatever. And this time for the entire month of Rocktober, it's going to be all current music. So there may be bands you've never heard of. There may be bands that you didn't know was still putting out music. So it'll be cool stuff from this year, exclusively from this year. And we got a couple of surprises too coming up at the end, towards the end of the month. We have a special guest, a couple special guests. Actually.
Yeah, go ahead and tell them. Me and you are doing an episode, which I'm excited about. I sat and listened to you. You record them in your own studio without me, and we don't have video either. So that show and another special show, if we get it arranged, is going to be streaming video, so people can watch. You pull the album, what you pulled, you can show them the CD. And then you're going to talk about, like you always do, you give a little background. I'm going to try to find some facts about the band that we cover, and then we're going to talk about the songs. You're going to tell me what you think about the songs, and I'm going to do it. I'm just joining you, kind of like so it'll be something special, something different. But next month it goes back to just Lance by himself. So.
Yep, and the Patreon, if you join our Patreon, you get to get the whole song after the episode of the record store. You get the entire song, whichever song I decide is the best song on the album, which sometimes it's really tough. On the one I just recorded, it was really tough because there were no good songs. I'm just going to say that. It's harder when there's great songs too. It's hard to pick it out when there's 7 songs that I love on an album. It's hard to say what the favorite song is. So you get the song is in its entirety on the Patreon too.
We do it on the Patreon because we're the only podcast alive that gets they want to try to ban everything we do. Right. I'm serious. Our buddies over at P3 Radio, they play music during their whole episode. I have people that play episodes of Raw and SmackDown, you can hear it in the background. They don't get flagged, but for some reason,
somehow we get in trouble.
Somebody's heat.
We got heat. That's what it is.
That is it. All right, let's get started with the countdown, buddy.
So, what the fuck news desk for September 2021? We start where we always do. The stipulation matches at number 10. So we start with Joshi Pro Wrestling and Ganbare, which is a promotion in Japan I really haven't heard much about. But they co-promoted a show September 4th in Tokyo. The name of the card was The World Calls It Love. There were 92 fans, and in this card, you had a three-way, a triple threat match. Hong Kong Domestic Ladies Policeman won the match over Hong Kong International Ladies Policeman and Hong Kong International Undercover Mafia. So Mafia got pinned with a spear. Turns out Hong Kong International Ladies Policeman was a crooked cop. So that just threw the whole match was all thrown to hell because of a crooked cop there. So a couple other matches to mention. We had on September 12th at the Fruit and Vegetable Market. 400 fans. Onita beat Mr. Pogo in a barbed wire electric and barbed wire electric bat, landmine, and gunpowder match. And then finally, I have to make mention in my research for the stip matches in DDT. I don't know if you knew this, Brian, but the Thez press is now referred to as the sex tape press, and sex all in caps. So like evil and, Kushida and all the names that are always in caps. So sex tape press is the new name for the Thez press. So I'm wondering if like the Thez estate is okay with that, being called the sex tape press. So that is our trip to Japan at number 10.
I never ask you where you find all these, and I don't want to know. I don't want to know because then I go searching for them, and it'll mess it up. But I love these names: Hong Kong Domestic Ladies Policeman. I think I'm going to be Jonesboro Ladies Policeman. That will be my new wrestling gimmick right there. I'm going to manage
on the weekends. On the weekends.
I can do that on the weekends. There you go. All right, number 9. Not a good happy
story.
Topic,
yeah,
but still, what the fuck? So.
As we've always gone on record, what WTF is not always the funny stories; it's the weird stories. And so this one, sadly, it qualifies under the weird. So at number 9, we have the Daphne suicide and Carl Anderson's involvement in this story. So a very sad story, obviously. August 31st is when it actually started. Social media that night was all in an uproar about she was live on Instagram threatening to hurt herself. People were very worried for her welfare. One of those people that you never heard anything bad about, after she passed away. Obviously, the outpouring of sympathy was amazing. So people were on Twitter and all the various social media saying, send help, try and get help out to her. Later that night, there were updates saying that help was on its way. So when I went to sleep that night, it was probably, 12:30, whatever. I remember thinking she's going to be okay because
I did too.
Help is on its way and somebody's going to get to her. And so then the next morning, which was September 1st, sadly, the story comes out late in the morning that she managed to shoot herself and kill herself. And she shot herself in the chest because she wanted to protect her brain so that her brain could be examined for CTE and the concussions and so on. So apparently what was so messed up, obviously a lot of messed up things. She had a lot of mental issues that were on record. Sadly, she had moved recently. And so when the help was apparently on its way to get to her to help her, they went to the old address.
They didn't know where to go.
They didn't realize where she was. And unfortunately, by the time they realized where she was, it was too late, which incredibly sad story. People were really touched by that. I thought there was such a huge outpouring for that, especially for somebody whose name was not, always prominent and hasn't been prominent for many years. So it just goes to show what a strong impression she made on people and how many good friends she had in the business. So, and then lastly, on the whole story, WWE offers psychiatric help for their employees. Saying that they will pay for any kind of psychiatric help if you need help, if you're having trouble. Carl Anderson decides to chime in, that place sucks. I'm like, just shut up. It's like they're trying, granted, they make many mistakes and they do many assholey type stuff, but that is not the time and the place to say that place sucks. So he eventually took down the post.
I was surprised that they didn't do that in the first place. I was really surprised because I work for a large company. We have that available for free also, but it's just one of those things that surprised me. I wasn't going to Carl Anderson drinks a lot. We know this about all his
think?
tweets and everything. So I'm not giving him a pass or anything. It was really strange because when you either text me or I text you when I said, she did kill herself or something like that. We were both surprised. But, killing yourself with a gun is not a way that a woman actually kills herself. I know we have gender blend these days, but it is it's not one of those things that happens a lot. Very sad, very sad. As always, we have a number. If you're listening to the commercial version, guys, call a number. Call us. Hell, message us on Twitter. We'll talk to you if you need somebody to talk to. So, all right, number 8.
All right, so we got to rebound from that. So at number 8, we got BT's Feel Good Story Corner. That's what I like to call this because you coined that phrase, the feel good story. So we've got 2 heroes this month. We got Al Snow and Dave Bautista. So I'm going to start referring to Al as Al Baywatch Snow because after years of ridicule from Mick Foley, Al Snow, 58, was at the beach in Destin, Florida on September 9th. Here's a boy screaming in the water, a little boy screaming in the water. Al Snow dives in as the kid is being pulled out to sea by the riptide or the current, and he saves this kid from drowning. If Al Snow had not been there at that moment and heard the kid screaming, the kid probably would have drowned. So Al Snow is a lifesaver. So that's our first hero. After taking all the beatings from Mick Foley all these years for being, a piece of garbage, he comes out to be a great guy. So Al Snow, by the way, 58. He looks like 38. I don't know what it is with Al Snow.
Age is not a number when it comes to him. Yeah.
And then we got Dave Bautista, who I never really cared one way or the other that much about Bautista as a person. But the more Batista. I find out he's a dog lover, the more I like Dave Bautista. So Dave Bautista saves Sage, a 3-month-old pit bull who was found in a cemetery, injured and eating garbage. Sounds like one of your old habits, eating garbage. But anyway, Dave Bautista adopts Sage, renames her Penny, and offers $5,000 to the, quote, sick piece of shit, a reward for the sick piece of shit who abused Sage. So the good news is the dog is recovering from surgery, doing well, and is now one of Dave Bautista's dogs. So big props for Al Snow and Dave Bautista. So 2 feel-good stories in September, my friend.
With Al Snow, it's just one of those things, and he didn't make a big deal about this, but I know there's lots of things you don't know about me, but I was going to work one day and there was a house burning down. And when something like that is happening and I knew the person's house, I knew who lived there, and I actually stopped and ran to the house. Now, hell, I don't know what I thought I was going to do. I was going to run in the house as it was burning down, but it's one of those human instincts that you have, and that's just what he did. He's a good human being. He just saved somebody. The thing with Bautista, and I've always been a huge fan of Bautista. I don't know why. He's just one of those guys I like. Is the idea. And Lance, I do something that's just horrible. Sometimes I get on Facebook and they have all these stories about these dogs that are treated so bad, and then they have the progression of how and I'm all happy by the end. But I'm sitting there crying at the very front as they're trying to find this dog or how he's been mistreated. I never was a dog person until 2 years ago, and Duke is. I mean, he's my best friend. He really is, except for Lance LeVine.
He's starting to look like you too, with that hat, especially. Starting to really take a liking to you.
But man, anybody that abuses any kind of animal like that, unless they're evil cats, no, I'm just kidding. I got a cat also. But if you abuse animals, man, you got a special place in hell. A special place. Yeah.
There you go. So hats off to those guys for the feel-good story corner.
Right on.
So, all right, number 7. We got, our MMA desk is overflowing this month. We got Conor McGregor, the Trump boys. We got Stephen Bonner, and, of course, Ronda Rousey. So we're going to start with Conor McGregor. Conor versus Machine Gun Kelly at September 13th at the MTV VMA Awards on a red carpet. Why the fuck is Conor McGregor on a red carpet is beyond me. But anyway, so they're at the red carpet at the Barclays Center in New York. Report was that McGregor asked for a picture with Machine Gun Kelly, who's a somewhat known rap star. He's dating Megan Fox, so that's kind of what he's known for right now. But anyway, McGregor wants a picture with him, and Machine Gun Kelly blows him off. Conor throws a drink at him. So I'm wondering, was it proper number 12, his whiskey? Was that what he was drinking? He threw that at him. So security jumps in. Somehow Conor's cane goes flying because he has a broken foot. He tries to throw a punch. He's nowhere near Kelly. He tries to throw a punch. I'm like, well, that was worthless because you're nowhere near the guy. So Conor denies the whole story, says he doesn't fight, quote, little Vanilla Ice white rappers. So, and then the weird thing is
just because he's Vanilla Ice because he's white. That's the only thing. But
racist. Conor McGregor, racist. That's what I'm saying.
That is. So, I'm not a huge rap fan, as you know. You hate rap. Machine Gun Kelly does. I mean, he's okay with me. But I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like you. So which one is the real star here? You know, I'm nothing against either one of them, but I would think Conor McGregor would get more. What Google searches? Let's go like Dave Meltzer does. Google searches. I bet you he's more Google searches than. But he wanted a picture. What I love most about it, and you know, Conor's an asshole, so we already covered that. Is that Machine Gun Kelly acted like he had heat with Conor, just
blew him off.
So, look who I'm with. I don't want to get a picture with you.
You're with Megan Fox. You can do no wrong. So anyway, Then we go to September 11th. We have the latest Triller Freak Show, which was the Evander Holyfield at 58, way past his prime. Should not even be in a boxing ring. He's KO'd in round 1 by the mega-juiced Vitor Belfort. But the weird thing that's weird enough that Florida sanctioned that boxing match to even happen. But the weirdest thing was Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, and Donald Trump Jr. were doing commentary on this pay-per-view, which, like, who was somebody going to buy the pay-per-view because, the Trump boys are doing commentary, so I'm more likely to buy this pay-per-view? It's just weird. So it did 150,000 buys. According to the sources, that was a big financial flop. So just weird to me that they thought the Trumps doing commentary was going to really sell the pay-per-view. So then we have Stephen Bonner, legendary Stephen Bonner, whatever. Legendary because he was in the first fight that put UFC on the map with Forrest Griffin. But he is in the hospital on September 1st in Henderson, Nevada, because he's in awful pain from a pro wrestling match. He got hurt in a pro wrestling match because he's moved on to that. He has a meltdown in the hospital because they're telling him that he's anti-vax, he's not been vaxxed, and so he's going to have to wait for hours to be seen because the COVID patients are the priority, as it should be. You know, he's got whatever, a broken foot or his back hurts or whatever. So they said the COVID patients were priority, so he has a meltdown. He flips out. He claims a security guard pushed him. He fell down. He admitted he swung his crutch at the guard. So what I found even weirder is the fact that he's on various painkillers. His friends are concerned because he's taking all these drugs. But one of the painkillers he's on is called Tramadol. So I'm like, is there a patent there? Do you have Tramadol? Actually, is that something Pat Tramadol has come up with?
It's common for people. I have took Tramadol, and let me tell you, Tramadol I have nothing to do with it.
Do you get a deal on it? You should get a deal on it.
Yeah, I get it special. The thing about it is that it messes with. It was originally prescribed for depression, so it messes with your mental. So at one point, I was on it and antidepressants, and you talking about fucking me totally up for a couple of weeks. I had to get off of Tramadol. It's a feel-good drug. It makes you, and it takes away the pain. So that's what he's doing it for. It'll make you feel a little bit good. It takes away the pain, plus any other painkiller. And they're just highly addictive. I mean, all the fighters and wrestlers and whatever, I've always said, I understand why you're drinking a beer and taking a painkiller. I kind of understand why you do that, but I hate it that they get hooked. And he went crazy, but that's part of it is one of those drugs like that. And if I had anything to do with it, I wouldn't be doing podcasts every afternoon. So,
I want to know what kind of kickback you're getting between the Mr. Melon.
I cannot.
You're making the Mr. Melon money and now the Tramadol money.
I can't comment.
The Pat Tramadol money. So, all right. And then finally, we wrap up the MMA corner here with congratulations to mutual scumbags, Ronda Rousey and Travis Brown, for the birth of their daughter on September 27th.
I didn't say that, and I have no reason. What do you have the reason to call them scumbags?
He left his wife for her.
Oh, well, he's a scumbag. Dude.
Yeah, and she's just a complete douchebag from her season of The Ultimate Fighter.
How do you know that?
The Ultimate Fighter, when she was such an asshole to Misha Tate.
Oh, my God.
So I'm sticking with that. Even if it was 10 years ago, I'm sticking with it.
You hang out with these people. They're douchebags.
But I'm putting that aside to wish them congratulations on the birth of their daughter, September 27th. I'm going to attempt to say the daughter's name, Lakia.
Oh, wait. Oh, I wish I had a drum roll.
Okay.
Oh, how about you? How about you let me say it first?
Okay. Well, you have a dramatic read coming up. I didn't want to overtax you.
Here.
So, drum roll.
Lakia Macabuku Brown. There's my name.
No, I'm going to give it a legit. You got about 2 syllables into it, and then you gave up. The middle name is literally like 20 letters.
All right,
Lakia is the first name. It's like Hawaiian. Lakia. It looks like it's Hawaiian, but the middle name.
Yeah.
Maka Lapua Kalanipo Brown. So
that's what I said.
No, you did not.
That's exactly what I said.
Hey, I may have called them assholes or scumbags, but you butchered that name. So I think you're the worst heel in all of this. Heel PT.
Oh God!
All right. So congrats to them over Lakia Makalanipo Brown. Whatever.
What is
that? What the fuck
my
is that?
shoot? That is Hawaiian. That is, like you said, that's probably is Hawaiian. But my shoot jobs. Some people listening to this may know my shoot job, but I'm not going to say what it is because it's none of no one's fucking business. But there is a lot of students that I get, and their names are people like are named. So I mean, these people, they come in. Most of them's probably in the 24 to 30. They're in their age range. And they just there's no Lances, there's no Brians. No. Those guys don't exist Jim, anymore. So
Don, those names don't exist.
No, they don't.
So
all right, I'm ready here, man.
Cleaning out the MMA desk. We're going to number 6, and number 6, Bryan Danielson eats sperm. This is what we've got at number 6. So AEW star, formerly known as Daniel Bryan, in an interview with the Barstool Yak, whatever the hell that is, on September 22nd.
Everybody reads the Barstool Yak. Where the hell have you been?
I didn't. Ever since it was the Barstool Ostrich, I never moved over to Yak.
That's right. So, you missed that. Yeah.
Anyway, so on September 22nd, he expands upon his vegan lifestyle and the sex lives of apples. That was very critical. So we wanted to provide for you some of this educational material. So here is our own co-anchor, Pat Tramel, with a dramatic read from the script of what Bryan Danielson said about vegans and his lifestyle and his diet. So here we go.
Right,
Take it away, Pat Tramel.
You've said Pat Tramel 3 times, and unless they're Patreon listeners, they have no idea what the hell you're talking about. So there you go. Be a Patreon listener, only $3, understand. We even play clips of music on Patreon. Here we go. As I tend towards a vegan diet, and people say all sorts of things about vegan diet, I find it really fascinating that nobody really brings this up. If you eat an apple, people say, oh, you kill plants. No, I don't really kill plants. When I eat an apple, the tree doesn't die. That's pretty smart. Essentially, I'm eating the tree sperm.
Yes.
I'm eating the sperm. It's tree sperm. That's how they reproduce other trees. Yeah. Most fruits are semen. Real fruits are semen because they contain the seed inside of them. In theory, that has to be planted into the ground for a tree. Let me read that again, okay? Real fruits are semen because they contain seeds inside of them. Yeah. In theory, that has to be planted into the ground for another tree to grow. So, yay!
Bryan Tramel channels Bryan Danielson. So there we go.
Fucking
very good. So vegan lifestyle.
Douchebags. That's what they are. So, vegans are douchebags. Not Bryan Danielson, but
for the blooper episode, we need to get that sound bite where you say, I eat sperm. That drop. We need that drop to be singled out. Maybe the P3 guys might be able to do that.
Come on, it's tree sperm.
There we go. So that was number 6.
All right, guys, that's it. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 coming up. We're gonna go to commercial break, and we'll be right back. 3, 2. All right, back from commercial. We'll take our sponsors. You scared me. So we mentioned T-shirts earlier. I've got if you're watching it, you can see the address going across the record store. All the monies, the profit goes to breast cancer awareness, and it is tinyurl.com/we have merch. And if you're watching the video, you can see Lance has merch.
Mm-hmm. So you can watch that stupid 2.0 talk show or YouTube show that they do where they're drinking coffee, because maybe they'll bring on a record store mug, and then I'll take back all the nasty things I've said about them for sucking. So, all right, back to the countdown.
Yeah,
so
let's go. 5, 4,
we're at number 5.
Wait. I want to shout out. I decided to shout out. I'm going to shout out to Rhonda and her husband, because since I've never met you and I don't know who you really are, I don't think you're douchebags, but Lance does. All right, let's get started. 5,
shout
4,
out
3,
to
2, 1.
Lakia Makalapua Kalanipo Brown as well. You can't leave her out. I mean,
you could call it you
package deal.
You don't know. You might not. You did not know this. I'm giving you a fact you did not know. They call her Pineapple.
So they call her LMB. I think that's what the insiders are calling her, LMB. So, all right, number 5 is SMUT, SMUT, social media uproar time. We only have 2 entries this month. It was a soft month for social media uproar. So we have the PWI 500 uproar annually that occurred this month, and Melissa Santos. So we have every year, people lose their fucking minds over the kayfabe list, the PWI 500. Of course, you had Kenny Omega number 1, Roman Reigns number 2. That started the big uproar, of course, because it always does. Honestly, my take on it, they both are deserving in different ways. Kenny had the greatest matches, obviously, the best bout machine. Roman, top guy in the top organization in the world. So, I mean, arguments could be made either way. Bottom line is, it's not something to overreact to, and every year, people overreact to it. This year was different because the Neckbeards got their guy number 1, Neckbeard Nation.
Can we go one episode without
the universe were the ones bitching because Roman was number 2. So, and then you have Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay battling over the list too. Ospreay was rated number 7. Kenny's quote, which I loved, was, "One of you dorks should have been the guy. Turned out a bigger dog was my only competition." So what I love about that is that a match is going to happen someday between Omega and Ospreay. And the PWI 500 basically prompted that. So I'm looking forward to that. Whatever it takes, I'm glad that match is going to... The forbidden door will actually be opened by Will Ospreay. And then we got Melissa Santos, Mrs. Brian Cage, going on social media earlier this month saying her mans is not being used well by AEW. So it'll be interesting to see because TK has not had this kind of stuff to deal with just yet. It'll be interesting to see what his reaction is. Brian Cage, honestly, not on TV all that much. I don't know if he's injured. He seems perpetually injured, but not on TV that much before or after her tape, where she went online, much like Rebby Hardy likes to do. But Melissa Santos causing some shit on the social medias about Brian Cage's career at number 5.
Meltzer says something about this. The last thing, it's his wife, guys. Come on, she's going to do that. Some celebrities' wives just do more than they should be doing, and that's just one of those things. She thinks he should be the champion, blah blah blah, because hey, that's his wife. And I think probably Tony, TK. I'm sorry, that's
TK. Yeah, we're insiders.
I'm going to say something the opposite about people. About PWI that, we always talk, it's on WTF every year. But I have come to just love it in a sense that people still think it's a thing. I mean, PWI it was an magazine that I could not wait to get. Also, the year-end things and the top wrestlers were my favorite issues. I love it that people still take, especially guys grew up reading it. They love it. They love it. So good for them. Good for them to bitch about something like that.
It puts them on the map. It keeps them on the map every year, which is cool for them. So we still call him the After Mags, even though he's long not been associated with those magazines, but we still call him that. So, all right. At number 4, we have our monthly crime blotter. So we have John Jones and Raka Khan. America's Most Wanted. Raka Khan makes the list again. So WTF regular, an enormous piece of shit. Can I call him an enormous piece of shit?
I think so. I think I'll call him a piece of shit.
I got in trouble for calling Rhonda a douchebag.
Well, the thing about it is, what has Rhonda done? This guy, tell why he was arrested this month.
So arrested yet again in Las Vegas on September 24th on domestic abuse charges against his fiancée of 17 years who he has 3 children with. So abusing her. So she was found bleeding from her mouth and nose in their hotel room. in Caesar's Palace, which was weird to me that they were in Caesar's Palace, but that's beside the point. He is being arrested. He bangs his head on the hood of the police car, dents the hood of the police car, and then I read the word chip, and I'm like thinking, oh, he chipped a tooth. I'm thinking that's where it's going. No, he chipped paint off the hood of the police car with his head. I'm like, how does one do that? What do you have on your head that's so sharp that you chipped paint off of the hood of a car? So he's arrested for that yet again. He's been arrested numerous times. We've covered it so many times. So, and then America's Most Wanted, Tranisha Biggers, a.k.a. Rocket Khan, who was in TNA for like half an hour back in the day. She's got a warrant out for her arrest on September 23rd in El Paso, Texas. It's a custody case for her not appearing at previous court dates, and that led to her being put on El Paso's Most Wanted Fugitives list. I'm like, shouldn't there be murderers and arsonists and rapists on that list, not Tranisha Biggers, who has just simply missed a court date? I'm like, how does she merit being on El Paso's Most Wanted? So anyway,
it's a money total.
She released some videotapes that were very Drake Wirtz-ish. They were just bizarre videotapes that she put out after the warrant came out for her. She was talking about protecting the children from the rapists that are out there. And I'm like, oh my God, this woman is her and Drake Wirtz should get together because she's off the deep end just like he is. So Tranisha Biggers and John Jones in the hot water this month in the crime blotter.
You know, the thing with John Jones, nothing surprises me. This is what surprised me. I think we went all the way this year. Maybe he was there early this year. I don't know. I think this might be his first appearance. That's the thing. The thing with child support and everything, because I'm one of those guys, and you are too, that we paid our child support. And if you don't pay if you don't pay your child support, you're a douchebag. So, and I'd want to warn out. I understand what you're saying. There's probably more important things. I think it has to do. I'm going to guess it has to do with the money that she owes a shitload of money to somebody, and that's the reason they ended up on a most wanted list there.
Just seems like there should be other criminals above her on the pecking order of America's Most Wanted. But anyway, we've talked about her before. So, all right, at number 3, we have Ric Flair and Tommy Dreamer canceled in September. So it was the September 16th episode of Dark Side of the Ring, which I love that show. I want to go on record. I think they do a phenomenal job. Almost every episode is just must see. That episode was the Plane Ride from Hell from 2002. Really stirs up so much shit. We knew about much of that story. We knew about the fights. We knew about the drinking, the damage to the airplane. But what really set everything off was the interview with Heidi Doyle, who was the flight attendant. That was the new information that we really didn't have. So you've got the Ric Flair naked with the robe on doing the helicopter, which I won't get into detail. Maybe that happens at the Tramel household on the weekends.
Sure, I'll claim that. Yeah,
that happens. Yeah. You got Scott Hall licking her and then passing out. So how were Vince and Linda McMahon on this plane?
They were not on the plane. There's the other thing. Yeah,
they were in first class.
No, they were not. They were not. Huh. You need to read the Observer. That was false. They were not on the plane. That was a confusion on a lot of people's part. Apparently, people have come out after the show and said they were not on the plane.
That makes more sense to me because I can't believe they were if they were on that plane with all that shit going on. I couldn't believe it still happened. So Flair was pulled from pretty much everything. I think he was on the verge of managing Andrade, probably in AEW. The Car Shield ads, those were pulled at least briefly. I've seen them since then, but they were pulled for a while.
And then he was at a con this weekend, too.
The Woo was pulled from the beginning of the WWE intro from all the shows. So Flair paid a price. I don't think we're going to see him for a while. Tommy Dreamer, an unlikely target in all of this. He came off really badly on the show. He basically took the boys will be boys approach that nobody got hurt. And so Tommy Dreamer he paid the price. He was suspended indefinitely by Impact. I was saying, like, of all the people, Rob Van Dam, the last person I would have thought would come off like a decent guy on the plane. Rob Van Dam, I thought, carried himself pretty decently and came across as pretty level-headed about this whole episode. So we got Flair and Dreamer canceled in September at number 3.
A couple of things I think about is Dark Side, how many episodes they're going to be able to do after this season because of some of the things that come out. And, you know, I've been around the wrestling business I started taking photographs in, so you say 87 or 88. I started going backstage. There's tons of stuff that I've probably witnessed that I could tell about wrestling superstars that then you would, if I went on the dark side of the ring, y'all would cancel them too. And the things about that plane ride and a lot of stuff that woman had, Meltzer had already reported on a lot of that she had said before. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like it was one of those things that, but Flair knew in advance they were going to cover it and what they were going to talk about because he had said something on another podcast, wait until that comes out kind of thing. Mm-hmm. One of those things that, you know, I mean, it was a he said, she said thing. They went to court. She was paid. Why are we, you know, I'm not saying why are we bringing it up? I guess because it's dark side of the ring. I'm not taking anyone's side because I kind of think Tommy Dreamer tried to say that. Tommy tried to say that, you know, that here's my take. If he was forcing anything on this lady, that's where I am. A no is a no. It's always been that way. I've had friends that I've had to send home because they were too drunk in the sense that I was afraid they didn't know what no meant. So no means no. If she was saying, no, get away from me, Ric Flair wasn't doing that, then this is a case that's already been settled. Why do we start, and it's public knowledge, why do we start canceling Ric Flair? That's the part I have about cancellation. Also with Twitter, what you say on Twitter 12 years ago all of a sudden becomes a big deal. I have a huge problem with that. I actually understood what Tommy was saying. I don't think people actually understood, and he did something on Twitter that made it sound a lot better. RVD did come off pretty cool. The thing with Razor Ramon or Scott Hall licking her, you know, here's a guy who's out of it, completely out of it. So that has a lot to do with it. You know, there were stories on top of stories about these guys getting off a plane. 1, 2, 3 Kids, Sean Waltman, he'll tell stories where he was so out of it, him and Sean, that people had to carry him from the airplane to the hotels and stuff like that, you know. So, and we had people dying like crazy too. So there's no telling. And there was always a lot of underage. This goes with rock stars too. So a lot of people know that underage girls, especially with the not just the hair bands, but they were popular hair bands where you had a lot of young girls waiting for guys backstage. So it is a different world now. I understand that, but I love that show. But there has been episodes where just. The Jake Roberts episode was rough to watch. This one got to me in parts because it was all fun and games until someone says, "Hey, don't touch me." You know, I mean, who wants his penis on the top of their head or something?
Do not helicopter me, and don't helicopter me. That's what was actually humorous about the Scott Hall thing was that he licked her face and then immediately passed out. I'm like, perfect. He was so out of it. I'm like, that was weird. So, all right, at number 2, before Brian gets canceled, we got the IWC goes apeshit at number 2. We have a couple blow-up incidents that happened in September. So, of course, we had the Suzuki incident, and then, of course, the debut of NXT 2.0. So, Suzuki incident occurs on September 8th on Dynamite, where AEW cuts off Suzuki's classic Kaza Nina Ray song before the fans could sing it. And, of course, the IWC loses their fucking shit about that. So, to their credit, AEW turns it into a bit where Suzuki says he's disrespected. You know, they accuse Moxley of being in cahoots with management, with TK, I think is management, you know. And they turn it into where it all feeds into Moxley and Eddie Kingston versus Lance Archer and Suzuki. So that was the first incident where everybody lost their shit. And then on September 14th, NXT 2.0 debuts with a lot of paint splatters, a lot of white colors, and of course the IWC loses their minds about that one too. What bothered me is that people were condemning that show before it even started. I'm like, that was dumb. Like, to say it's going to suck, it sucks, it's going to suck, before you even watch any of it was bullshit. So I will say I have watched it and I do not like it, but at least I've given it the consideration of, watching it and seeing if I like it or not before I condemn it. So they took the belt off Samoa Joe due to an injury. And I thought, was that a tournament in Rio de Janeiro, maybe? Why Samoa Joe lost the title, the NXT title. So I thought it sucked. They took the show basically from being, ROH to, from an ROH-ish type wrestling show to just basically unproven tall guys with really bad names like Braun Breaker. So busy month for the IWC, losing their shit over the Suzuki incident and 2.0.
I want to know what white colors. What is white color?
White with like the paint splatters. That their whole motif is all white and bright with all those paint splatters.
I told this in a group, and I wasn't kidding around. I love the fucking set. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love the way that it changes colors when the people come out. I thought that first show, and I said this, and you agreed 100%. That there was, why would you do that and not give me something I wanted to see for next week? So I haven't looked at it again. I actually had fixed the DVR so it would record it. Now I just delete it. So there's nothing. I don't know what they were doing, but the colors to me, that was just hilarious how. Oh, well, it's distracting. The colors are distracting. How are these colors?
I can't believe all these colors. I cannot watch it. It's got too many colors,
Oh, God.
People are losing their minds. The ring post was white with paint splatters on it. I'm like, who cares? Give me a wrestling product. I don't care what fucking color the ring apron is, but people lost their shit, just like the Suzuki incident, which will be known. There'll be a dark side of the ring in like 2030 about the Suzuki incident.
All right, before we get to number, hey, hold on before we get to number 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, here we are at the end of the month, at the end of the countdown. At number 1, we have a returning favorite. It is our friend Marty Jannetty, professional whack job.
He won last year. He won last month. I have this weird feeling he's going to be WTF-nator for the fuckinator for the year. I have that feeling.
Joey Ryan is MIA, so Joey Ryan is no longer in there. And Jim Cornette, I don't know, not so many mentions this time, but we'll see. No. But anyway, Marty Jannetty, professional whack job. On September 18th, Marty sees fit to post how dangerous it is to be white at a black strip club. So I'm going to read some lines of Marty Jannetty. So do not cancel me because I am just quoting him. So he's saying how much heat you get when you're leaving with a black woman that you met in the strip club when you're a white guy. So he leaves with, quote, little mama in the brown.
Little mama in the brown.
Little mama in the brown, which, okay, forget about like the racial connotations there, but in the brown, what does that even, like, no, she's black, but in the brown makes no sense to me. But he says, Ninja pulled a blade on him. The floor is covered in blood that ain't mine. Who the fuck is racist? That all in caps. That was the post. Who the fuck is racist? So he says the light-skinned black girl that I was going to hammer stole my wallet. I got it back, though. So, the story had a happy ending in a sense because he got his wallet back, I guess. So he advises the white men who meet black women in the club should not leave the club together. They should meet outside. They should never leave through the front door. So this is professional advice, unprofessional advice from Marty Jannetty about how to pick up a black woman at a black club when you're white and how to get away with it. You should just meet outside. You should not be seen leaving together because Ninja might pull a blade on you, apparently. So Marty Jannetty at number 1, again, for his insanity.
Lance, I want to say something real quick. I know my mama listens to all our episodes. So mama, please quit listening right now. You can come back. You can listen to the rest of the Patreon. Me and a friend went to a black strip club on Christmas Eve one time. And let me tell you, they loved us white guys in the club and nobody treated us. And this was 30-something years ago. No one treated us differently. They didn't want to beat us up. They didn't want to steal our money. And because it was Christmas Eve, guess what? We were the only 2 people in the strip club at 7 o'clock at night. So we were treated like kings and had a great time. So
you mean Ninja did not pull a blade on you?
Ninja did not pull a blade. I do think there was a sweet brown sugar in there somewhere, and that's not being racist, but I really think that's what her name was, one of the dancers.
Skip Young? Was that his name? Sweet brown sugar?
That was Coco Ware too.
Oh, okay.
They used that for yeah.
No
All right,
racism
I
in
could have made a comment when you were talking about John Jones in his head too. The old timey black wrestlers all had a hard head. So
can Mama come back at this point? Is it okay? The coast is
Mama,
clear for Mama to come back.
You can come back because same bad time, same bad channel. Join us. We're going to do honorable mentions if you're a Patreon member. If not, best little wrestling podcast in the business. Be there. And as everybody knows, I love my mama.
Welcome back, Glenda. As everybody knows, she's back. So as everybody knows, I have fun everywhere we go. And join us for Rocktober for the rest of this month.
I think it's spelled wrong.